Hi, I'm Kaushal, and this is my series, Almost Legend, in which I try to find fun, interesting, and competitive decks that are capable of making it to Standard Legend. Now, my exact process for each deck is to start at Diamond 5 0 stars and climb all the way up to Rank 1 3 stars. At that point, I'll D-rank back down to Diamond 5 and start the process again with a new deck. My hope is that, by watching this series, you'll be able to see some cool and competitive decks that are capable of making it to Legend. Well, almost Legend. Thanks for watching, and now on to the video. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Mech which is a really fun aggro deck that has really fast games. So if you're looking to get stars quickly, this is the deck to play for sure. Um, this is a post-nerf deck, so we're not including Lab Constructor, which was buffed to, or nerfed to 5 mana. And instead, our top end package for this deck is going to be Scourge Illusionist, which adds a 4/4 copy of another Death Rattle minion into your hand, and it costs 4 less. So using Scourge Illusionist, you can add a 2 mana Mothership to your hand. So that's a really powerful combo. You can use that to get back onto the board in games that you're losing, or to play against like grindier control decks, and like Blood Death Knight or Control Warrior, for example. And so this top end package is really powerful and gives Mech more of like a sustaining, like longer lasting game. Um, Now, of course, the main strategy with Mech is to end the game really quickly, so that you don't even get to that point. And you want to play your early mechs like Quick Blocker, Drone Deconstructor, which is like just a really amazing Firefly type effect. Um, Frequency Oscillator, which helps you cheat mana, either by playing more mechs on the same turn or by cheating out a more expensive mech the next turn. And speaking of cheating out more expensive mechs the next turn, Frequency Oscillator is a great play on one to cheat into our powerful 3-drop mechs. These mechs are sort of like the backbone of the deck. Coppertail Snoop is just an amazing card. Uh, if you magnetize it onto a mech minion and get it to attack, you're very likely to win the game. The mana cheating just gets out of control, and with this sort of deck that's heavily reliant on tempo, getting extra mana in those early turns is very, very important. And then the second premium 3-drop is even better than Coppertail Snoops, which is crazy, which is Mimiron the Mastermind. This is like such a builder on card. Very, very powerful. The gadgets are all very, very interesting and can get you out of really tight situations. And there's a limited number of them, so you can kind of play around like getting one of them if you have enough cheap mechs in your hand. You have a reasonable chance of like hitting the exact right one that you need. Um, and Mimiron is absolutely, one of the most fun cards that I've ever played with in Hearthstone. So I really like this card. Otherwise, the deck, I wouldn't consider, uh, the other mechs in this deck to be like necessarily like high priority mulligan keeps. I think it's easy to accidentally like overkeep cards like Inventomatic. You really don't want to keep this in the mulligan. You don't want to keep Spider in the mulligan, for example. Like the cards you really want to look for are your premium 3-drops, Coppertail Snoop, Mimiron, and then keeping some sort of 1-drop that's powerful, like Click Clocker or a Drone Deconstructor, Frequency Oscillator. Um, but I wouldn't. I like prioritizing the 3-drops. I think is the most important thing. Those premium 3-drops. The deck has enough 1-drops that like, you know, even if you don't hard mulligan for a 1-drop, you'll usually like draw one, most of the time. So yeah, prioritize the 3-drops, I'd say. Um, so in terms of other notable card inclusions, we're running, some extra top end with the Flame Behemoth. I replaced the Voltron Mech Titan with Flame Behemoth. I think they're both fine. I personally just want to try Flame Behemoth. I'm not sure which one's better, but this card has been surprisingly like pretty good to me in a lot of situations. The random mechs can be kind of nutty sometimes. The magnetic mechs, especially the cleave mech. Um, Otherwise, Krabito is just a really strong standalone card. Any Storm Coil is such an amazing card to copy, like a magnetized minion, especially like a Coppertail Snoop minion. Now all of a sudden you get 2 coins back because your copied Coppertail Snoop minion can attack twice. Um, just game ending. Uh, and then otherwise, yeah, you have some, spells in here that help support the general temple game plan, like Serrated Bone Spike, Pit Stop. I'm running 1 copy. Prep, I'm running 1 copy, and then from the scrap heap. And this is a really good card to pair with a lot of your mechs, and you can get really nutty things like a Wind Fury, Coppertail Snoop minion, Divine Shield Poisonous mechs, etc. Uh, and then Gear Shift is great reload for this deck, along with your top end value. And you can sometimes chuck like a mothership that you might have drawn as a dead draw and just chuck it back in your deck and get some good cards instead. Uh, so I talked briefly about the mulligans. In terms of matchups, I would say you really want to look, you want to queue into Druids. You want to queue into any deck that just doesn't have proactive ways to deal with the board and is slow to get onto the board. So, you roll over Druids. You do pretty well into Hunter unless they have a very, very good story. Um, I'd say the tougher matchups are going to be things like against Mage, Warlock, classes that have removal from hand. Um, Reverberations is especially like a super nasty card against this deck. Star Power is also a really tough card to face. And Control Priest is also a tough matchup due to the amount of silence that they run. Shaman's like it can depend. If they have Primordial Wave, then your life gets a little tougher. So this deck is a bit matchup dependent. However, the games are really fast, and I will say that the deck is more skill testing than you might imagine because there are a lot of small decisions that you can make throughout the game in terms of positioning, in terms of magnetizing, in terms of sequencing and order effects, playing to certain gadgets with Memoron. Um, so yeah, all in all, I'd say super fun deck, and I got some games for you, so enjoy.
Valera versus Lunara.
So we're going up against Druid.
Forest fight
I think there are
back.
2 main varieties of Druid. It's either the slower Drum Druid or there's the newer Aggro Druid. Um, this hand is pretty ideal. I think I can toss the Scourge Illusionist, but the Drone Deconstructor on 1 is great. And then I have 2 premium 3-drops. Let's just hope that they don't play something really early to contest my board.
Toys are much more fun to bring.
The question is, do I play Mimiron or do I play the Coppertail Snoop? I think the Coppertail Snoop is typically considered the better. It has to just be better, right? And I think it's just better because we push more damage, we get the coins faster. The coins help Mimiron, um, so I can squeeze out more mechs on 1 turn and more gadgets. So they're going to draw their Drum Circle. They have 2 mana left. And now their Drum Circle is 6 mana. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's play Mimiron. Let's magnetize. Let's make this even bigger. Well, let's see what I get out of Drone Deconstructed.
Toys are much more fun to bring.
Divine Shield is nice. 2 Divine Shields.
No, no, no.
Yeah, having played this from the Druid side, this is a terrifying board to look at.
All it takes is love, care, and death.
Now, next turn, it looks like they are going to be deploying the drum circle, which is not great for me. So, do I have a way to kill them? So, let's say I play, um, I get a Wind Fury. I'd have 12, or I'd have 14 damage, 16, 17. I would have lethal if I hit Wind Fury off of from the scrap heap. No dice. Okay.
I appreciate your efforts. Choose soon.
All right. So let's see how far this board gets me. Because I should be able to summon the Innie Stormcoil now. And Innie is pretty good here.
Choose soon.
Now, I don't know if I missed lethal there, but it was kind of hard for me to plan that whole turn out in my head. Sorry. I couldn't really talk through that turn.
All it takes is love, care, and death.
I can't win them all.
Right. Yeah, it goes to show you that, like, against Druid, even if they hit the early drum circle, this deck just snowballs so hard.
Valera versus Uther. Your judgment begins.
Paladin is an interesting matchup
Back.
because Paladin with the Divine Shield taunts can get on the board really quickly, um, which can be a huge problem for Mech Rogue. That being said, I do like this hand. Probably not the Scourge Illusionist. I'd like something to fill out the curve. Ideally, like the Discounter Mech, Frequency Oscillator. But I think this one drop into ideally Coppertail Snoop Magnetize on 3 is good.
Toys are much more fun to breed.
Poisonous is not the best early game mech. It's okay. Okay, so this guy's a mech paladin. Interesting. Now this is actually not too bad. Um, the mistake draw is pretty clutch. I feel like I want to go wide here. Let's spread things out so I have something to magnetize Coppertail Snoop onto. And hopefully there's no Divine Shield mech that has taunt as well.
Repair in progress. Must protect little boss.
Alright, so this is interesting. I have a couple options to think about here. Obviously, there are two very threatening mechs on the board. Now, if I kill the repair bot, they just get the noble mini bot back, which might be a big problem for me. Pull out the 4/6. Yeah, I feel like I have to trade the Divine Shield off there. Actually, I could coin Flame Behemoth. Maybe I should get my Spark Bots out now, see what I can get. No poisonous. Hmm. Yeah, we'll have to chill, I think. I mean, I guess maybe I could coin out the stealth one. That might not be a bad idea, actually. Gives me a little bit of board presence.
Choose soon. Want to hear my playlist?
Oh, I think that's a misplay, right? You should attack first before, so you can buff your dude, but that's okay. I feel like I need more of a Hail Mary here. Like, maybe I need to discover a mech.
Choose soon. Want to hear my playlist? Here we go.
Yeah, so I want to rush into that one because again, I don't want to give them the magnetized mech back to their hand. And I really just want to get rid of all the divine shields that I can because I think divine shields are going to be the most problematic thing for me to deal with.
Reporting for duty. What was that?
Yeah, this is a good one. This is the one I was hoping for.
Here we go.
So let's remove all their mechs from play so they can't have anything to actively magnetize onto. Ooh, that's a problem. Yep, I mean, it makes sense. Makes sense that that's what they would draw.
Must protect little boss.
Guess I have to lead with my flame behemoth.
Threat detected. Dispatching battle bots.
So this Furious Furnace is an amazing pickup, I think.
Too soon.
Yeah, that sequencing was pretty hard. I didn't know exactly what I was supposed to do. Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, they're out of juice, I guess.
Valera versus Thrall. For Doomhammer.
Watch your back.
Okay, so I want to keep Drone Deconstructor, and I think the rest of these are going to be tosses. Let's see if I can find, uh, yeah, Mimiron is pretty good. It's a nice snowballing threat. I think I'll play Click Clocker into the Drone Deconstructor. Mimiron's not a bad target to hit. Puts it out of range of a lightning bolt plus a zap now. Oh, this guy might be Totem Shaman. Let's see what I get off of this. Magnetic Rush. That's pretty good. So now I can double trade into the Totem. So I thought this was Nature Shaman, but given that this is Totem Shaman, my game plan is to try to keep them off the board as much as possible and win with superior value, which I should be able to do with Scourge Illusionist into my mothership. I don't know if they're teching Primordial Wave though, which would be a bummer.
There's little time.
Okay, so they clear my board. We'll go ahead and just play Murmuron here. So we'll see what the response is. The natural play, if I didn't have Murmuron, would be to play my Scourge Illusionist on 4. But I would like to get a couple of the gadgets from Murmuron. Yeah, this is unfortunate. I think I do have to play the Scourge Illusionist here on 4. I can't float that much mana by playing Mistake and then Pit Stop. Because maybe Mistake won't even give me a good gadget from Mimiron. Go ahead and clear the zero tap totem. Take advantage of the fact that these totems are unbuffed. They haven't played the stone right yet or anything.
I am the harvester
Uh,
of
Speaking of which,
and wine.
this is the worst card to see. Now, they should have traded into my Mimiron. That's clearly a mistake, I have to imagine. unless they have something that I'm not prepared for. But now I'm just gonna milk that for a lot of value. So start by trading. Choose 2 minions, they swap stats. Interesting. Maybe I'll play my cheap Mech. Deal 3 damage. Is it better to use the Mimiron switch now or later? Maybe now. Let's get that 4-3. And we'll
Too soon.
deal 3 here. Now this should control the board pretty well. I've only killed the 2 totems so far, so their totemic evidence isn't infused yet. Famish Fool is a really slow play. That gear shift does look pretty good.
Wonder.
I like picking up the cheaper mech here to squeeze out more tempo plays. Choosing 2 minions that swap stats is not bad. Keep making this guy bigger.
Too soon.
So I decided to value trade there just to make sure that they didn't have. I really just don't want to give them board presence as Totem Shaman. I might be making a mistake here. Maybe I don't understand how their deck works, but I feel like as long as I keep my Mimiron on the field, they don't have Primordial Wave, it's very hard for me to lose the game. Because their only ways of getting back onto the board are through their totems. Okay, well, there you go. Yeah. Thanks for watching. And yeah, you don't have to worry about liking or subscribing. Uh, yeah, it's okay. You can just close the video now. Okay, bye.